about things of the stomach. Akavunga nishinga, bread, family budget. Those are small things. But the bigger picture, inflation, kwenyu. Be with me there. The what is this? The cost of borrowing money, what is it called? The monetary policy ratio at Bank of Zambia is going down. GDP, fiscal policy, monetary policy, and the goal, we are understanding growth. We are seeing the stability. We are seeing how governments are steering the whole system. They're even coming to, they are partnering. They are partnering with other governments. You know, when you take HH at some level of international interaction, people will listen to him. Where is this man coming from? We have someone who can be listened because of what he's doing. And I mean, it's just a plus. He has done so much. The micro things like cost of coffee, bread, minimum wage, that kind of thing. Those are small things. Supply and demand curves, choices, prices. You see, it's about imitikula empanga. You understand my bemba there? Imitikula empanga. You want to have a forest tomorrow, but you can't make a small tree to grow now. What kind of people are you? You want a forest tomorrow, but no. They can me shoot. Mlefu a forest mailo. No matter mlefu a no tukule. Small things. Appreciate. There will be the forest for tomorrow. Please. I hope I've not. If I've offended anyone, I ask for. Anyway, with Mr. Chandam.
No, don't worry. You're in the right path. There's no need for apology when you're presenting your opinion. It's your own opinion and your thought, and you're entitled as a Zambian living in the diaspora to represent.
So the small things that are now happening, tomorrow they will translate into economic growth. That economic growth the other day will translate into jobs for the small people, small local markets. Suppliers in the mines, they don't have money. Some don't have money to supply things because it's not possible. The economy cannot, they have no space. But with the economy growing, there will be more low-hanging fruits that will come, and we shall certainly benefit.
Okay, but you can't so that you see, when you create a fiction and you start to throw it there, the cost of living is bad.
Yes,
it's always been bad. Cost of living has been bad since its calendar date. It's not that
and you were quiet. And I don't want you to start interjecting me. I don't want you to interject me when you are much of a child and for your time to respond.
But it's very underrated, just keep everything in perspective.
The cost of living in the bin right now, it is so bad. That's just a fact.
Yes, never been.
Hello.
Let Makazia finish.
Okay. Abantu bali the wages. Hello.
We can hear you. We can hear you. And just here in the background, you come and quiz.
One, the cost of borrowing, first of all. Moratorium, what happens to the moratorium? You have borrowed more than the PF in 5 years, you've said. You have tripled the borrowing. I don't know how much you borrowed. Look at the internal debt. 78 billion, now 280 billion. You have borrowed. In Congo, and where are you placing the Congo? From a database. database where you bring in your relatives. Hello, the minister via flow of the house. Like, no, to repeat the database. So if the database should bring this shape. And then you tell about no, I want to have system. Normally, we will just go into Sweden. Crookedness. Look at the cost of just things, basic commodities, and vis-a-vis the wages that people are getting. You have suffocated the economy. There is no money in Zambia right now. In the Ramashidum the same Kada they know in the Ramashidum Kada. God getting into go package, Mike at a good day. Akachel some Kako, Pakabush said it. Containers of medicine. Wow, 3.5 billion in illicit financial transactions. No investigation, quiet. $80 million by mistake finds itself in China. Quiet, see. Nobody's even talking about. Indeke was impounded, which is watching gold. Where is it?
Ndwi, that's a Ndwi.
Vajati Mwimbu went on. It was that one, and you see, I'm a HR practitioner who took time to study HR systems, and also I was a person who was employing. Ukusapanga a recruitment process which does not exist from anywhere in public service recruitment. Nicely chosen. So in terms of what you guys are saying, oh, these are advances we've done. He needs to fire a few people for him to actually make it next time. But once it must go. You have a lot of riffraffs that are around the president, and that's why at times I don't blame him, because blaming him at times is bad. But it is the people that praise wrong things. Wrong things praised to the point that you can't run a government like that, man. Mukose BMH.
That's good.
Mukose, you really have to.
Can I chip in? Before Tamla?
Yeah.
Has there ever been a time when the cost of living has come low in Zambia? Like, no,
Vamacha today, if you don't get a feel, we know cool and that. Not people are too la family. You don't feel we know. I want to say enjoy everything is good. No, the cost of living is in the time.
Has there ever been a time when the cost of living in Zambia has come so low?
Good question.
Has there ever been a time when the cost of living in Zambia has come so low? And
when you were talking, me, I kept quiet. Unless when you start talking, I start also talking.
No. You talk. You
talk. So that as you talk, we should be answering some of those questions.
But you finished talking, Bakazi, I think you finished talking, isn't it?
It's one of the biggest problems I have when we get to the forum. But one thing they start talking in the background. When I start doing
you have substance. You have substance. That's why to Apoyokulanda. Don't get offended. It's okay.
Okay. I think okay. Let's do it this way. Vamacha has asked you a question. Answer it, and then I'll also give you my opinion, and then everybody else.
Okay. Let me come in just a minute. Let me come in. Let me come in just a minute. But let Bakazia finish. You have 1 minute and they have finished.
First of all, people are talking when I'm submitting and asking me questions. But Macha, what is your question?
Okay. Has there ever been a time in Zambia when the cost of living has become so low that you and I can be so excited? My grandmother in the village, the children, the youth, the old men, politicians saying, but remember the cost of living is really low. Has there ever been such a time?
I don't understand the question because I don't think.
When was the last time When was the last time the cost of living in Zambia went low for everyone to afford?
You want me to give you an answer when the cost of living was low?
When was the last time when the cost of living was so low in Zambia?
Before the UPNT came into power, it was low. Now it has gone up.
Yes, and I'll tell you why.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Okay.
This conversation should not be taught. But it becomes a two-way. So you make
I've asked a question. Let Magazia answer it. Let him conclude his point.
Exactly, that's the protection I need from you, that I should be protected to finish my ideas. Now,
let him finish. You have already asked the question to everybody. So let him finish, let him answer the question, and then we'll move ahead. We got a bigger topic to handle.
It comes from you, your manifestos. You are the one who telling me the cost of the is not where you're supposed to be buying things. And I have a formula to do it. And it's why I support people. People question that. I would personally question that. How come? Because when you are having challenges, you must come to me and tell me. But you when I was telling you to say, if interfere is walekana. So the question that, let's not praise overly. Yes, there could be certain things that could be worked on nicely. But to praise all that, we know. Among schools, you have employed 30,000 because someone built the schools. The schools are there for them to employ. So these are some of the things that are there. I don't know why we politics so much instead of waiting on substance. I will beg to have more questions if people have questions. But and they have a question, Bakalinda may have a question for me. I'm here waiting.
No, with me, I don't have any question. Maybe after the end of the program, but I think.
But Sophia, let me just come in. You know, I love numbers. So in 2011 or before that, when PF came into power, the dollar was at 5 kwacha to $1, right? By the time the PF were leaving power, the dollar was at 18, somewhere around there, to a kwacha, right? I'm just doing comparisons. Now, where are we? We're at 18 kwacha to $1, you know. Right now, as we speak, this is where we found the dollar. So, and then when you look at, you know, when you're comparing stuff like, okay, the price of, because our commodity, everyone wants to eat sheep. At some point during the PF, and this is on record, our lovely Bachimba Kambwili said, Ubunga buli pashani 330 kwacha. Today, Ubunga baleshita ushinga. I was sending some money home yesterday. They were saying, no, Ubunga kunono by 220. So if you are comparing the cost of living, I think let's go with those facts. I'll leave it there.
Yeah, the facts that we've raised there, they are facts that are cannot be denied. Number one is that, yes, you are right in terms of certain things, but it is your manifesto. It is your sitting down on a board and making computations on how you will reduce way further. When you are living, when UPND was picking up power, it was the cost of milling was 125 kwacha. 125 kwacha. Yes, the dollar was about 17 kwacha. You're right, yes. But you took the dollar, your economics is to take the dollar to 10 kwacha. That was the economics, and the dollar appreciated by 14 hours. Your economics was to reduce the cost of a bag of fertilizer from 600 to 250 kwacha. That is your cost of economics. Those are the economic indicators. What was the cost of fuel that you have put in there? You had said the cost of fuel is way too much. The indicators are wrong. ZESCO, power. You said if you're going to increase power, you can increase 1 million times. You will never achieve anything. Where have you? But you have increased ZESCO, the tariffs. You have increased. So there are things that you yourselves, you are being held accountable on. And you better not attack people holding you accountable on, because that's where the problem comes in. When people push and hold you accountable for the things you've said and promised, then they become villains. It can't be like that. You need to apologize and continue. You apologize. We didn't know this, and now we have known. And with what we have known, this is what we are doing. But instead of when I come back and jump on you and tell you this is wrong, you promised me this, then I become the villain. No, you don't understand. No, I understand because you told me. So once things that you've told me are not working, you cannot hold me accountable. It is me to hold you accountable because I give you money through your salaries and everything to fix my problems. So when you are held accountable, it is not time to attack. That's why when somebody with power, they are coming up with a manifesto. It's a manifesto. If it is something that is what people understand it, then they are held accountable to what they say. So in terms of your numbers, you've given the numbers which are correct. But are those the numbers that you said you're going to work with? And then number two, on the borrowing, you had said you will stop borrowing. Borrowing was a moratorium. What have you done? 6 billion in 4 years. Over $6 billion held. Over 100% internal debt. And where are they going to get their monies? So you better look at that.
Anyway, so in any case, I think let's move ahead. I think we've tackled this the topic for some time, and we will keep on beating
but
on.
At the last word, can I just have the last word?
Have a lot quickly, and then let's move ahead. We got to move ahead. Please, just be quick, and then we move ahead.
The disillusion that the cost of living subsidies and progress now.
What did you say, Amati?
We enjoyed a lot of subsidies, including fuel that was never paid for, and this government came in power and found in Congole. Now that's the reason we are suffering because of that same thing, the subsidies. So the cost of living was low. But now we are paying the price. That's why we are saying it's high.
We are not paying the price. What price are we paying? We are the only ones paying. The politicians are not paying any price. Instead, we are actually rewarding them with more seats. What are we talking about? We're paying. Yes, the Zambians are paying. But what about the politicians?
That's why the cost of living. That's why the cost of living was low.
No,
maybe we make progress.
Let's go in there. Not something.
Anyway, well, I think this next topic is going to show progress because we need to now start talking about big economic impacts that are actually going to affect Zambia as we talk about it as we speak. The current Mulungushi textile has finally been reopened for the first time, since what, 20 years ago? The plant has been closed 20 years. And what happened was all the previous government used it as a tool to use Avena Kabwe, Central Province, to say, we're going to open it, we're going to give you jobs, vote for us. They vote for them, boom, no factory. Next thing, they use the same template because Avena PF, MMD, Vaisa PF, Vamweva Vamshinga Matwinani got a bata Mutwinani, Eddie. At Awe, very few, then Eddie, I rapamuru, may so rest in peace. Inwe ngamwamvotera kuno ngesa mukuisula industry mukakwate chito honse muno mukabwe This is now now this is 2026. Ichalo cha UPND chaishire mu 2021. And according to before we came into power, we're going to industrialize this country. One, look at the copper belt. That's just one beginning. Look at all these other projects. That's just one beginning. And as a matter of fact, before we even go any further, Lekeni insopolo lensa mush. Ishakwa HH, as we call him, data boy or calculator boy. Alandis. Njerengana isaine kastari structure the debt. Abantu ukastashani restructure mkatata wabu fiyo umuntu aletwe kushinga pale.
Kwenyu.
Ata leva njere muneni mwe bantu akwalesa. Efo ndela ndaine. It's not dead. Efo ndela nganachi tamukadda bono kudda tamko etefe data nalikwata data oto banjitira ti data boy so
ushetukali amagrafu
Zambia chalo cha Zambia
mama cha amagrafu kweli
loleni ne olela ndani nevo bane leken tumfwe leken tumfwane bane so ichalo cha Zambia chalesta service debt inkongole shaba PF shirosho bakongwele 2.3 billion esho twale endrama twale bapera just to service inkongole shi so iche chata mwe bantu akole somoneni economy ino tete tukwanisha okola mepera 2.3 billion tentu wane tukare pa table. Oh, what are you proposing? Asa abalondo daba so pure rensa mushabeba. Okay, moneni. For us tazo. Instead, imulefa 2.3 billion tre milipira ngongole shile. Tentu shiteso. Inenkala milipira 900 million. For a period of this much. Tentu shite extend debt. Leke ni to pay pene petripide pa pene ngongola pa pena. Awe yoba ne. Tile kupen koinsta yako bati tulika economy yaka nono lekene pene koinsta yako chiti tuste ko develop tuste ko ifintu fefre for process it gave Zambia, it unlocked a $1.4 billion. So abantu abena Zambia kirafalera ndeche chata kuli free education CDF nefya shala eko chikumenda lamo kungata mwishibe secret ngata mwishibe lero mwishibe yirienda lama ishirosho tre saving and we were supposed to be paying 2.3 billion. We're now paying 900 million. 1.5 lolere nibane we're now saving 1.4 billion. That 1.4 billion, we're now distributing it into social services. And the social services that we are distributing that money include education. Can you just wait?
That my battery is low, so when it cuts out, you should know that maybe my battery is just gone down.
Okay, Bane.
Yeah, so go ahead, you can.
So that 1.4 billion is now being distributed in all the social amenities. Yaingira kwa education, yaingira kwa social food, food feeding programs in all the schools, free education. This is what we call an impact on an economy. And this actually raises the economy or the cost of living. It becomes lighter because the spending pocket of a parent taking umwana go school. Yeah, but indarama baledi pila vasunga. Indarama baledi lunch vasunga. So now we go to the topic of the day, which is sorry. Oh, let me just introduce this person.
Hello, and as you're introducing this person, can I make my last contribution so that in case I leave the platform?
Go ahead.
So I worked in Kawe. I was the principal. I was senior labor officer for Central Province. So I know issues around the Mungush textiles very, very well, and the challenges that are there. So it's a good thing to open an industry, like once I was saying, it is what we should be opening. That is what private sector jobs look like. Not mind want to 40,000 only a government payroll and they say, oh, why want to we have done so much. No, that is just job reallocation, and you cannot save money and give it back into giving a free money, and then you say, oh no, but we have serviced the debt. That is why you have $6 billion, because you don't talk about how much you have borrowed yourselves. No, that is a no-go area. And it's important to also be talked about when you are borrowing. You can't borrow for consumption. When you borrow and employ civil servants, that is consumption. When you borrow and give social cash transfer, that is consumption.
That's not consumption.
That is consumption.
That's not consumption.
When you do social cash transfer is consumption. It's not development. It's consumption. When you employ me as a teacher, it is not consumption. All public service, they are consumption. Public service is based on consumption. It is not based on production. It is consumption. The production sector is private sector. Private sector, the one that because we get taxes from them as they are producing, and that is the tax that we go back to pay for teachers and nurses and all that. Otherwise, in the this is likely. That's why 278 billion from 70 billion, 278 billion kwacha income body. You are not paying for the services that people are providing for government, because money pilama services that are there. Everything about overly to say, oh no, this is what Ama promises. Yes, he promised that he's going to open Mulungushi, but you don't talk about the promise of fuel, the cost of fuel. You're not talking about promise here. Yeah, 50 kwacha kabum. So those are some of the things that are
anyway. Okay, you put your point. You put your point across. Let's welcome Chikonka. I think it's been in the background for some time now. Dr. Chikonka, welcome.
Thank you.
Before you drop out again, we need to get your insight.
No. I've been listening through, but I had a task. It's just unbelievable. When I'm preparing to do something important, I find myself here. Yeah, go right ahead.
Is a database that is criminal. People need to be held accountable for actually shortcutting people like that. It's not right. It shouldn't be a nepotistic kind of recruitment that is there. Someone must be held accountable. I submit.
Oh, thank you very much, Bakazia. Chikonka, you were saying? Oh, I think you were saying is in the background. So anyway, Mulungushi textile.
I'm sorry. I'm here. I can hear you. I tried to follow the topics, but yeah, I think I missed out most of it. So I'll just keep following. I can respond to whatever I feel comfortable talking about, because I think.
So the next topic we're going into is the Mulungushi just being reopened. The city of Kabwe, which I hold dear to my heart. Because my mother comes from Kabwe, and my grandpa, my grandmother, they're all from Kabwe. We originally from Mpiga, but everybody decided to live in Kabwe for some reason. So I remember growing up in Kabwe City. It's either you work for Kabwe meeting or you work for so it's a town it's a small town, really. Kabwe is a small town.
You're talking about your mother. Umbilical cord is buried in Kabwe. I was born at Kabwe General Hospital. Just a fun fact.
So those are the things. So I have those memories. My uncle, most of my uncles they moved to the Copper Belt now, but some of my aunties, our family home is still in Kabwe. So I remember,
I didn't hear you. Sorry.
The best day we celebrate it in Kabwe, so we start preparing that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So like I was saying, look, Kabwe, I hold dear to my heart, and having that factory being reopened after 20 years, it brought tears to my eyes, because I couldn't remember when my uncle was telling me he was working there, which is one of the, it's like if you're working there or you're working from, Kabwe meeting, you're working somewhere, this is where the big companies back then, so it's a big and huge thing. It's opened and done and dusted. and an investment of $140 million in terms of new equipment. Now, this has been, like I was saying, a political campaign song for most politicians. But looking at it now, it's now something that's reality, because now we can touch it, we can see it, and we can actually go in and see the production plant and see the production happening in real time. What's your take on that?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a good thing that they opened it, but I think, like you said, most of the major promises that he did is kind of reaching out on them. But it's good to bring that kind of employment in Kabwe, especially after the death of Zambia rebels and that Mulungushi and a couple more others that were there. It seems like it's about time the people of that city start having jobs locally. So yeah, it's a good thing. I'm very, it's very appreciated, and I think it's very celebrated, well celebrated as a milestone at the end of his first term at least. So we should continue doing that. I mean, opening more things that to give employment to the local people. Listening to Bakazia about the amount of debt that our country has borrowed to revamp some of these things is like, oh, here we go. It would be impossible to think that Zambia will have any kind of development using the resources that were left over without having to get some kind of help from anywhere else as far as borrowing is concerned. The only good thing about I feel like the current government, or maybe comfortable enough about this current government, the nature of borrowing is not the nature of borrowing in the previous governments, who are just getting without even realizing how they're going to pay back. I think they are borrowing smartly, in a way, which is given to them, and just get it and share, or use it or never use it. But I think with good intent. My hope is that management continues after this second term that we are going forward. So we'll see how it goes. But other than that, the Kabwe thing is a very well celebrated event. We are happy to hear about it, and it's one of the promises being like everybody else has promised. They never reached out, but we did. So here we go. I'll submit.
Thank you. Kalinda? Kabwe.
Oh my goodness! Kabwe. Mulungushi Textiles open.
Kukabwe, not Kukabwe.
Kukabwe. Kwenyu. Like everybody else, it's good for the city. That finally we have that textiles running and producing tender materials and other things that they are planning on. So it's a good, good investment for the government, good investment for the people. We need such kind of job. We need more industries to be, actualized. Just as this, I always like to sidestep. Let me digress a little bit. Let's also give them a shout out. Kafua Textiles is up and running. United Chemicals or whatever fertilizer plant is up and running. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot coming up, and all these economic zones that are being muted in various, provinces or cities like Monze, of course, Lusaka have MFairs, Kabwe, there's that, So there's a lot happening that most people are not seeing, but they will. I end there.
Fantastic. Dr. Danny? Is Dr. Danny here or not? Okay. Dr. Danny is not here. All right.
He's at the beach.
Ramwami.
Yes. Mulungushi Textiles. I set foot there. I went there when it was running under some odd regime in 2000. We went there on a field report project when I was a student at Nkrumah Teachers College. One of the things we went to find out there was the problems they were facing regarding the operations of that same thing.
The plant.
The workers there, especially those in charge of mechanical work and electrical parts, they were saying that the equipment was outdated and finding the spares for that system was very difficult. So it was operating on a it was not reliable.
Obsolescence kind of machinery.
The equipment had become obsolete. It was not fashionable.
It eventually became obsolete.
Yes.
It eventually became, before it was obsolescence, and then it became obsolete.
So what that meant was people who used to work in shifts, like day shift, night shift, they were turned away because production had to slow down. So the need for recapitalization of that Mulungushi textiles became eminent. And from that eminence, there now came politics, politics came to play. I'll come and open this when you vote for me. In fact, before elections, we shall start it. We shall make it start running. They started running it before elections, but they just had it was just meant to operate for a short time. The equipment could not even be there for a month or so. Even the quantity of cotton was just made to just take a show off, to deceive people, to hoodwink people.
Yes.
Yes. You know, like Hitler was a bad guy. In the streets, he sets up his news printing machine, automatic printing. In the streets, people are passing, and people would say, our president is working. That kind of politics, it's very bad. You don't cheat people like that. Nala Isula, I'll open the textile tomorrow. The guy, it runs for a day, disappears. Now, here is this good guy, HH. And I'll tell you something about HH. HH is failing. He's failing. Ask me how he's failing and why I like the way he's failing. He is failing forwards, not backwards. PF did two things. First of all, they fail. And they fail backwards. HH is failing and is failing forward and is rising up to do what he meant to do in his election promises. Mulungushi Textile, he told people of Kawe, those that are alive will remember what HH told them. I'll come and open it. And he has opened it. And you know, the timing, it could not have been any better than just now when they're about to harvest cotton. The other guys, even timing was very poor. But now they'll harvest cotton. And people will say, okay, we've harvested the cotton. Here it is, buy it. There will certainly be a market for cotton. Even the price for cotton will be something good. What is this? The Mulungushi Textiles has a multiplier effect. It is not just going to benefit the Mulungushi industry, Mulungushi Textiles. It will also be a good thing for the farmers in the cotton belts of Zambia. The ginneries, yes, they process the cotton, but they don't make value. We are talking about value addition. We shall import less chitenge. We shall not spend much dollars to import those things which can be made at Mulungushi Textiles. The military here, their uniforms now, the material can be made at Mulungushi Textiles because that was the sole purpose of that thing, to make clothing for military people. That soldier thing there, if you have a uniform, that material is supposed to be made there. We shall cut on imports. It's not just about people getting jobs there. It's about people now paying tax. Us who are taxpayers in Zambia will be less burdened. There will be more people coming on board. Imagine how much money Zambia revenue will start to collect from that place. I mean, HH is failing forward. I like the guy. He's failing forward. But maybe still peeping. He's failing forward, and that's a good spirit. I yield.
Thank you very much for that submission. Vamwanza.
Thank you. First, Mongoshi, good news. Like I said, these are the type of jobs we should be creating. Not that the other jobs. I'm here. You can't hear me? Hello?
No, we can hear you. No, we can hear.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about
so. So those are the jobs we should be creating. Not that the other jobs aren't important. The recruitment, they are, but also sometimes I think is when it comes to UPND communication, mass communication, daily we don't seem to highlight these jobs. We keep on talking about teachers and nurses and what. No one talks about much about the industrial zone in Lusaka West, the Mongoshi textiles and things like that. But before I go deeper into the Kafue textile, I heard your preamble, Chanda. We need to set another day for this discussion. I see you are confusing two things, the cost of living and economic development. Those are two different things. They are related, but they don't judge. It's not like a one-to-one. One takes longer for the other one to take effect on the other, right? Yeah, so a good example is Toronto and Vancouver, well developed, but they are very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's set a day for that one, so that we can clarify. I teach economics too, but just the introductory. But so I think those things we need to clear.
Yeah.
So
I'm a student too.
Sure, that's okay. Okay, yeah. So they are related, but they're not one and the same thing. Okay. So Monongushi Textiles, good news. Like I think it was like Azia was talking before me. Yeah, it's gonna create jobs in the city. There's also a multiplier effect for the nation. There will be support to farmers in terms of cotton growers. They will have a market for the farmers. Also import substitution. That are some of the economic effect, industrial growth. Yeah, I think as you mentioned, we had the Kawe Railways, we had Monongushi Textiles. So the city was really a ghost town. So those things are back. I'm surprised you Kawe people, you don't even say Kumishes, you just say Kawe Wakarinda na Chanda.
Kawe Kamukura.
Kumishes. I thought Karinda's I thought the umbilical cord was in Mukuni. Now I'm disappointed. So there will be that.
It's
Karinda, I think you got some explanation to do because you've now declared two places.
Yes,
where your umbilical cord would be
Mukuni and the Kawe, but you leave it.
I was born in Kabwe, but
Okay.
I was raised in Livingston. So
Okay.
my dad was a civil servant. My dad was a civil servant, so we were moving like 2 years. So I've lived.
Okay. Yeah, so the multiplier effect is huge, and the Monongushi Textiles is not even small. I went there too, but when it was closed, one of the gentlemen was a colonel, my mlamu in Kabwe, took me there. Gee, it was a sorrowful sight to see. So the multiplier effect on the economy is huge. The only thing we need to look out, so as we praise, sometimes we also have to factor in that it's not all roses. It's the competition from cheaper imports like second-hand clothes and things like that. There is also management. I hope they don't fail us. and also global competition in countries like Bangladesh and things like that. But I think we have enough demand, even domestic demand or need for Mlungushi textiles to feed. Like, for example, Bakazia talked about the military uniforms and things like that, so good story, good timing. Again, we're harvesting time. We're going towards election time, and he has fulfilled that election promise. So another Kwenyu.
Fantastic. And you know what? I can actually agree with you. But here's the thing. What I'm thinking is this. Let's not just restrict Mlungushi textiles to just Chitenge. Let's not just restrict it to that. Now, Zambia has grown on a separate industry that has not been recognized in terms of designers, young kids coming up with different designs and stuff like that, and they just do it on their own. They need to incorporate those young people. They can select a few individuals, open up stores across the country, give them as an incentive. Okay, so look, I can give you an example of shops like maybe, for example, Pep or maybe Woolworth back in the days. Those were made by local, local farmers. They bring in the cotton, local designers, and they create a specific brand. If we as a government can sponsor a specific brand using Mlungushi textiles with a new technology, because I know the technology that has been installed there is actually new technology that can produce any kind of design. Any kind of design. It's not just like those olden days of where it's just substandard and it's just one thing you can just do. It can create any design you want. So even all these political parties that are coming up, they can go there to say, I want my regalia, I want this design, I want this design. Same thing with all these young designers that we have in Zambia. We are going to have specific stores and shops being opened up, beating Pep, beating all these other retail outlets, but Zambian made. They just go there with their own designs. They say, guys, we want to design this, maybe a kid's shop. Pants will be looking like this. This is how it's going to look. This is how it is. Boom. Zambia, government of Zambia, they support that individual or a company. And that's it. That's how those companies were coming up with Pep, they find them here in Zambia. That's how they started. That's how they started. And they infiltrated this market because we didn't have a Mlungushi textile. We didn't have anybody. And we didn't have progressive people that, if the people that are going to be employed, they need to have that progressive kind of mindset to say, we cannot just be producing no. Let's produce more than Ichitenge, because the equipment that have been put there has that AI infrastructure that can design anything. So that's why the president was saying, like, if there's need for us to train our people, we've got the budget for that. We'll create a budget for that to train our people so that we start producing uniforms for nurses, military, everything, and be done with importing all this stuff, And not only that, even the local market as well, And so, that's on that point. That's my contribution on the Mlungushi textiles. And of course, like I said, it's something that's close to my heart. My grandmom, when I go there in Kabwe, hey, thank you. A story of another day anyway. It was a UNIP headquarters back in the days. Story of another day.
How many more topics do you have before we wind up? I'm running late into some program, not football.
We only have one topic remaining.
What topic is that now? Presidential material?
Presidential material. No, we're not talking about presidential material.
Likely
So
presidential
anyway.
material.
Anyway, so Vananka John Sangwa. So we got John Sangwa.
Okay.
And we also have the meeting of the political parties. So only those two topics are remaining.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you feel like you want to go, you can just just excuse yourself. I mean, take punishment. Take punishment, even.
I would not have done my job if I don't listen to this. I'd something on. You should have put these things at first now. Where Shani? You're not fair.
So John Sangwa has decided to quit politics or withdraw his candidature. I don't know what people are thinking. Is it a strategy or people did not contribute because he gave a target to say people have to contribute a certain amount of money so that he'll be able to declare to say I want to be the president. So I think about John Sangwa should stick to studying and being a constitutional lawyer and being a professor, because Avena Zambia, they're not there to give money. Avena Zambia, they want you to give them money.
We are here to receive. We are here to
receive. But John Sangwa, how popular are you to that level where you command that kind of you have that kind of command? You're not there, We like you as a constitutional lawyer. We like you when you say the language has changed, and when we look at this constitution, it talks about constitution. That's what we know you for.
Constitution.
No, that I want to be the president of Zambia. I don't think if Yapusana, Ikango Yapusa, Yapusana. So he decided to withdraw. I don't know what everybody's thinking.
He did well. He did well because at least he has shown his intentions. He didn't want to congest the ballot paper for nothing. He will keep the costs low, and in terms of funding, he wanted to be as transparent as possible, so that when people contribute those funds, whatever money they will come up to, he's going to show a breakdown of how he intends to spend the money. Of course, he was going to get the 100,000 kwacha nomination from there. Then he would have said this money went for this province to campaign. This money will get this money will get there. They will buy so many land cruisers. When we bought these things, let's get started. So that even when he wins, there will be nothing like he has gotten money from outside the country. Now those people want the money back. So he's going to pay them first at the expense of development or seeing the nation take off. As the case is with some parties that came to power, we hear they had sponsors. Now those sponsors want their money because the power is in the party is in power now. Give us the money. Or maybe, if not that, they had local business moguls, business giants that supported them, that gave them money. And when they come in power, they want to be given lucrative contracts so that they can get their money back. Even when they are just going to supply air, as long as it's the contract, they'll get their money back. But John Sangwa didn't want that. He wanted to place it on the Zambians' head, carry this. Give me so much, I'll go to State House. With you people behind me, everything will be okay. So that even when we get there, we shall not owe anyone some money. It will just be us who did a good cause for the country. And then for him to get back to his law practice thing, it's a good idea. He's as a constitutional lawyer, constitution and politics. He can't be a politician and at the same time become a constitutional expert. Those two are competing. They are at variance. Because when you become a politician, you tend to circumvent the constitution, which you actually wrote. So I would wonder if John Sangwa really became a president and swears to the constitution, and the day he goes against the constitution, what are you going to say? You made the constitution and now you've gone against it. What kind of president are you? I think, in my view, he did well to abandon the cause. And the other thing also is that the problem is with HH. HH is too selfish. He has set the bar too high for the common president, common man to become a president in Zambia. The caliber of people we saw, no. And that bar, for me, is good because we shall never go back. We always are the best in that office. I yield. Hello?
What happened to Mr. Tlufia?
Hello?
Is he took a nap?
Oh, sorry. I was talking. I didn't realize I was muted. I was like, Bakalinda, what's your next step on the John side? Your next point, or your next what's your submission on that one?
No, let Mr. Mwanza speak. I'll speak after everybody else has spoken.
Okay, fantastic. Mwanza, but John Sangwa has decided to quit.
Oh. Bakalinda, why me? You are setting me up.
I was talking to Tapani Mukamwa here. Tufuna cheti mbele.
Ndelo sha. Ole sha tawamu tajani. Okay. No, good move. Good move. You know, we can't all be presidents. I don't know where we got this thing that me and Chanda, we just wake up after one or two whiskey. We want to be president. I think John Sangwa was doing very good as a constitutional lawyer. He debated very well. He debated very well. Even us who are not lawyers would understand his points. So, but the moment he said now politics, and I thought it was a bad move to begin with. And so whether he sensed that is not going anywhere, or if we use Tayali's line that politics teavana, he decided, I think he wasn't going to go anywhere and lose money. You know, I think sometimes even in the US, some of those guys who stand during presidential election, all they want is to elevate their standing in the society. So when Sanders picks up a phone or Sanders is talking, everybody will listen, right? You know, he has an audience, right? I don't think there's some of them they really believe they're gonna make it or win. If it's on that basis, yes. But I think John Sang already had a forum, you know, in terms of the constitution, you know, so he didn't have to go that route, you know. So to me, I think it's kudos. But again, now I was reading somewhere people who contributed that they want their money back, you know, something like that. Whether he'll be able to send the money back, I don't know.
How much money did he raise? Because he had the ticket, right?
Yes, I don't know how much he raised, but they read somewhere somebody saying some of these comments that they want their money back, you know. So I hope that does not put himself in unnecessary trouble. But him stepping down, he shouldn't have been there in the first place. I think let him stay within the constitution. He understands this constitution. Sometimes you may not agree with him, but I think he puts the points across very, very well. You know, that's my submission.
All right, so I'm on a two thoughts on this. So on the other hand, I do welcome him, realizing that he didn't want to, for the rest of his life, to be known as the State Council Zero John Sangwa after the elections are done, like we call Sean Zero Tembo. Okay, so he realized he wasn't going anywhere. But in the spirit of transparency and honesty, he called on. He said, in his own words, he said all he needed was 1 million Zambians to contribute 100 kwachas to his campaign. So in the spirit of transparency, I need him to publish the names of those who contributed, and then how much. And and how he used that money. If there's anything left, he should give that money to whoever contributed. I don't know how he's going to do it, but it has to be paid back. If any Zambian contributed to that cause at all. So that's where I'm at, payback. But we appreciate him quitting, knowing that he was going to be known as State Council Zero John Sangwa. Like everybody else says, let him go back to practice law. That's what he's good at. Let him go back to, teaching the young ones on the Constitution, because we need seasoned lawyers like him to share his knowledge to the young ones, for a better, for a better Zambia in the future. So on the other hand, my state council, honestly, and you even adopted. So what happens to his running mate, Dorica Band? What happens to her? I'm just asking. What happens to Madam Dorica Band?
Yeah.
Does she? I mean, the problem that we have, like everybody else has commented here, we have people that just underrate or belittle the President HH, because they think if he did it, we can also do it. They don't know what formula that man used to get where he is, and who was contributing. It's not easy being in the opposition for 23 years and finding a political party literally from your own pocket. It's not easy. So everyone, they just think, they wake up. I've eaten shima with mulembwe, and like Mr. Mwanza says, and then I have, a glass of Ciroc. I'm like, even me, I'm going to be, if HH did it, I'm also going to do it. It's not easy, people. It's not easy. And people like John Sangwa, if they want to contribute to the well-being of the nation, how about just become an MP first? Start with that, So anyway, good move, but I think for me it's too little, too late.
Too little, too late. Sounds like a song. Anyway, I don't know. With me, immediately I saw that I was disappointed, because I give John Sangwa respect in terms of the legal framework and where he belongs. He's somebody that will come up and give those rebuttals when something is wrong, or in economy. Even when butane was being raised, he came up hardly to say, look, this is very illegal. And even when the contestation of may so rest in peace, Valungu, he said Valungu does not qualify to stand as a president. So he even broke it down. That's where we need him to be, to breaking down those kind of legal, economics and everything. So to him to say, no. I think certain things are meant for certain people. And, if I'll stick to your day job. If you know Baba Jones, he wanted the million people to contribute that, who contributed, There are people that contributed, and like you're saying, they need to be refunded that money. But I heard, according to his legal language, he said, well, the money you contributed goes to the party, and we're continuing to do our party programs. So even if you contributed, it doesn't mean that it has gone in vain, because we're still continuing into the next year. Yeah, so but I want to, in terms of the legal terms and the language I was listening, Mwalista contribute, thank you. Okay, but you cannot claim your money. I don't know if you're going to take him up legally, but because being a lawyer, obviously, is going to rebut and say, you contributed at your own will. Nobody forced you to contribute that money. So that's how lawyers work, you know. And saying in my next life, I wish I was a lawyer, because how these lawyers make money, oh my God. So that being said, I think now we can simply say that stick to your day job. Next, I think the last topic we need to, which is very important, and I think Makalinda should come in on this one. We're talking about the the non-bailable offense, and the just enacted law, which is Section 4 of the Penal Code, which has just been enacted, and there are various key points and cases that have been enacted. The main thing is rape, sexual assault, even stealing of animals and all these other stuff. They're all there. So many other things, property and government. Like if you go and you sabotage government, property, like all those things, they're in there. So there are so many other things, but I think the most burning topic is people that are talking about is rape. Makalinda, what's your take on that one?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to speak on this, because that's one of the most important laws that this government have enacted. For me, it's a sweet deal. A caution to the young girls who are out there screaming rape, because now it's not just you scream rape and then somebody's arrested. Okay, so you scream rape, they take you to the hospital, they swab your private parts for DNA, and if it matches with the accuser, that accuser is picked up and is in jail until his case is disposed of. It could take 3 years. You know the law in Zambia and how the courts work system. It's just pathetic, but that's what that law entails. So, boys, young boys, men, you guys who are out there, all madalas, grandfathers, raping your own grandkids in your homes. This law is gonna get you. Once you go in, you go in. So I'm happy with it. This is what should happen, because we need a deterrent. People, we need a deterrent. We can't have young girls, babies being raped by grandfathers, believing, well, if you rape, and all these witch doctors who are out here telling these madalas to sleep with young girls so they can get cured from AIDS. Who even believes that? Excuse my language. Okay, let me not go there. I was getting carried away. So anyway, in a nutshell, we needed this law. About time.
Okay. Can I chip in?
Go ahead.
Okay, Linda, a point of correction. Numbers don't lie. Even men, there are women that rape men. It should not just be one-sided. And sometimes because of and because of not just having the right language, you're found at the wrong place, wrong time, you become a victim of rape. Sometimes what carries the weight is what this woman speaks. No, that kind of I was forced. Even no matter what the man will explain, nothing. You forced, so it becomes rape. It's not all those people that are behind bars who are guilty. Some are innocent. Maybe they had the wrong lawyers. There was the wrong evidence. Maybe instead of a doctor signing, it was a clinical officer who signed that medical report. This lady was just something else. Maybe she makes money out of that, or she just didn't want to see you in society. She wants to make sure that you are behind bars. You know, umufimbila. What do you call it in your language? Umufimbila.
Umufimbila umuntu awati walimpata walimpata kapukwa n'omuntu.
And just like that, you disappoint this woman in a marriage. Tukakumona. Rape yaingira. Jail. Come on. Bail because of rape. They should have thought twice about it. And look, you're fixed aboard, surely. Yes, you're fixed aboard. Be given chance. Animal theft. Be given chance. You are innocent until proven guilty. Because you can't just assume this person is a defiler. What happened? What prima facie do you have? What facts, what evidence is there? Sometimes the case may even take 2 years. It's not heard. And for 2 years, this person is behind bars, remand. And then after 2 years, this man is innocent. Who pays who? I yield.
So I think on this one, I think we need to know what way it classifies. I think they're saying defilement, rape, incest, theft, theft of medicine, all those stuff, infrastructure, vandalism, and all that stuff. And looking at what they've proposed, I don't see a lot of men being raped. I don't know. Maybe they are there. I don't know.
They are there. They are silent. When they are raped, they become silent. Nala sevana.
Yeah, well, I don't know how possible that is. I don't know. Personal experience. I don't know. But we've seen a lot of people, in that situation that have been caught up in those cases, and I think we need to really be careful, Panumba, and we need to understand that when Zambia, baramsta protect ngali innocent, or baramsta prosecute and stuff like that. Because I think there were questions here. They were saying like, look, now it looks like Montuli on Somaume, Nande is presumed innocent. It's presumed guilty.
Yeah, so people, by the time me and my time, I've not become the best ally of time now. May I say bye?
Like I said, when you want to just go out, just go up.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I think we're about to just wind up. This is our last topic anyway. So for today, so on this one, we need to actually just do a separate podcast for this one, because it aligns to so many. It has so many layers on it, and I would want people to actually grasp and understand, all these things. But look, I agree with you. I mean, it's a good law, and I agree with you. Like you said, it's something that was supposed to be done, and maybe to deter when they commit a crime and they're walking in the neighborhood, garden compound, or someone to walk to the and then intimidating the young lady, and then she feels scared. And then sometimes, in most cases, you find that the families, they will just negotiate and say, okay, these things happen, okay, blah 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 blah. Dramas are so kwasira. You see what I'm saying? So most cases, that's how they end. Oh, stand withdraw case, you must withdraw case. But without going through that proper system. Because I think that we need to have a barrier where people can understand that if you do something like this is the law. So people are they're like, yeah, no. When you do something like that, like even us, people will like automatically, you even want to deal with Utuba HA or stuff like that or whatever, you have to deal with your own age group. And Gawasanga English Yamana Nikane Mana Balakwikat. Boom, Gabakwikata Nischapo Mani Waya Gloria. And then in Gawafuma, Vaka Vikana Nikane, the registry, Wawingiram registry. Zambia, I think Vakatam, Vaka Quatico Navena, what for Zambia, Kunokuma, developed countries, every registry. Vaishwa muntu, huyu muntu, parimgete mukesi yaso, vayi muntu chani, vakwata register. Nokulikonso kwa lekara, na veshiva. Ngakwasitiko mulandu waso, valaifanya vipa data. Ngawa mnani, niulia. You'll be the first suspect. They know they'll narrow you down and quickly arrest you. I don't know if that makes sense. Wakalinda, let's wind down. We'll talk tomorrow. We'll talk. Hello?
Is everybody still there or they are gone?
Pamwanza.
Hello?
So, the two people have just dropped out.
Yeah.
So, in any case, I think the last topic, I think we need to deal with it
but I can briefly say something too. I think it needs more time. Yeah, so for me, I think it's good and bad. Yes, I think my calendar talked about people who rape or defoul 2-year-olds, 6-month-old kids that they're gonna get these witch doctors or herbal healers that they'll be saved from AIDS or things like that. I don't know whether it's medicines and things like that. And some of them, they're just mentally sick. Rape also happens. Yeah, there's also young boys being raped by older women. Okay. Now, the problem I have with the law is that our economic development is not like here, where and sorry if I'm going to offend people here, girls here are very more independent. I have girls too. They're very, very independent. We have a system at home that people are dependent. My man will do this, my man will do that, my man will do that, right? Kind of thing. So this man promises you gurira nyumba, gurira motoka and what, and it doesn't fall through. You can easily fix him, right? One case where they have to go to the police, they get the sample, there's a report, it's still fresh, it makes sense. What about somebody who says I was raped 6 months ago? Yeah. You see, 6 months ago, I promised to build you a flat ku Chalala. Now I was fired from HH for dancing. So what are you going to do?
You're right. I think it needs to be looked at deeply. And it needs to be. They need to give certain categories on what defines that law, because you can find somebody with they're forced people, just especially in Zambia. Me, the way I know the women in Zambia, somebody raping out.
Yes, raping out. So and even here, rape cases are not easy to dispose of, right? There's it takes time and also waste in Zambia, that kind of thing. So here, for example, maybe when you are accused and you are cleared, there's some compensation that happens. But in Zambia, you stay in Timbukara 3 years and find that nothing happens. So we're going to compensate you. Yeah.
No,
so
I think that, you know.
So we need. I said needs more time. But for me, I think it's good and bad. I think we are targeting the wrong. Some of the wrong issues. I think the defilement ones. Most of those cases, the victims, Baba Maziba. It's not like this one where somebody just accuses some guy. That one raped me, and last year. You know.
Yeah. So so categories. Bakazia, you're back.
I'm back, Wachanda.
Yeah. So we're just talking about the last topic, which is the new law on the unbailable.
It will be subject to serious abuse, like everyone else is saying. And the problem is that when we say unbearable, it means a person will go in without any record. I don't know how it's going to be done. I don't know how that is going to be done or to be implemented, but it's a bad law that has been done. And also there are things that we can do to actually make sure that we provide those safeguards and get that.
Yeah, I think what we need is amendments. The good law is good, but I think amendments should be done to it, and they should be specific on specific crimes, and they should not just give 100% leeway, because some women are right, and most of these things, they do happen in Zambia. And but sometimes you find that some people are just like, we've met a lot of women in the world. You just have so even here where we live, you find you see what I'm saying? So Naguzambia Chimochi Nava Nagashi, Patontokanya the same way. But if we give them that 100% kind of a validity to say you can just claim or do it. I don't know how. I think it needs to be explained more how it's going to be. Because Eloi is touching a lot of angles, and a lot of people were saying like, look, maybe it may not be 100% proof, and it may not be 100% right. And it may need a little bit tweeting and adjustments somewhere. So maybe we say something different to say, if this happened, this we can do this. Lawyers need to come in. Maybe consult the lawyers. I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. But anyway, thank you, gentlemen. I think we're gonna end here. We've been going on for a long time. I thank you for joining the program.
Closing remarks?
Sorry?
I'm saying, are we having closing remarks or something?
Of course. We always have closing remarks. So closing remarks, we can start with you, then we'll go to Amwanza, and then I'll close up. Go ahead.
Yeah, my closing remarks is that now I think there has been, this is a political one. This is going to be a political one. But I think I'm happy that now the Tonse have unveiled their manifesto, and they have a chance to look at it. Maybe something you can come and have a conversation on the next topic, so that you see maybe having alternatives in terms of what should be done. For instance, on industrial growth and northern agro industry, southern eastern, Zambezi upper, Zambezi Green Economy Authority, things like that, northwestern and mining and resources. So there are a few things that I was looking out for. I would urge that have a chance to look at that. Maybe we can come and also have a conversation around it. So that is what I could say. And thank you very much, Bachanda. This is a platform that is very progressive.
Thank you. Oh, he's gone. No problem. Thank you very much. And my last remarks, just to say thank you for joining us. Continue supporting the program, liking it, and we'll catch you in the next segment. God bless you.